In preparation for this year's sailing season, I need to re-oil the areas of my boat that are made of bare wood, the oak rubbing strake, coaming and sole boards. They're finished in Deks Olje D1 by Owatrol. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's a high-end marine-grade timber oil. It saturates and feeds the wood to replace lost oils. It drives out moisture and air present in the wood, enriching and stabilising it to provide long-lasting protection. It gives a clear matte finish. The oak is in good condition but needs a clean to remove any dirt and other surface contamination before applying the D1. To do this, I'm going to use Deck Cleaner, also made by Owatrol. It's a powerful, biodegradable cleaner that removes surface grime while restoring a bright, vibrant look to the wood. Unlike bleach or chlorine-based cleaners, it doesn't damage wood fibres. Stir well before and during application. You can dilute Deck Cleaner up to 1 part cleaner and 4 parts water. The level of dilution depends on the condition of the wood. Use neat on grey, heavily weathered wood, and 1 to 4 for wood that's in good condition but needs a bit of a clean-up. Before applying Deck Cleaner, wet the surface with fresh, clean water. Then clean with Deck Cleaner. Always wear gloves when working with chemicals. After 15 minutes, I rinsed off the Deck Cleaner with fresh, clean water. I used the same process on the coaming and left the boat to dry for 24 hours. Once fully dry, I masked off the bare wood to protect other areas of the boat. I applied the D1 with a brush. It should be applied wet on wet, so after coating the wood, you need to apply further coats before the previous coat has dried. It normally takes about 15 minutes for the D1 to soak into the wood enough before you can apply another coat. The coaming only needed 2 coats to become fully saturated. The rubbing strake needed 4. Although the mahogany plank deck is varnished, it makes sense to oil the rubbing strake. It's likely to suffer a lot of scuffs and scrapes. Re-oiling patches of wear and tear is easy. Revarnishing is more complex and takes a lot more time. The coaming won't suffer from the same wear and tear as the rubbing strake, but the oiled finish is a nice contrast to the shiny deck. The oiled coaming and rubbing strake also nicely frame the varnished deck. My next task was to oil the suspended oak floor. This was going to be a little trickier because some of the floorboards are screwed into the whole frame, so I'd have to unscrew and lift them in order to oil the underside of the boards. Others were easier to lift. The floor included several subframes that were slotted into position and easy to pull out. On removing a couple of subframes, I realised this was going to be a whole other project. The screws used in the subframes weren't long enough to create a strong join between frame pieces and boards, and none of the underside or pieces of frame appeared to be oiled. I'd have to take the whole of the suspended floor apart, oil every piece all over, and countersink the existing screws or replace them with longer ones, something for another weekend and a separate video. The oiled rubbing strake and coaming turned out nicely, however. To prolong the life of the wood, I'll recoat whenever it looks like the wood is drying out or could do with another coat. I'll probably recoat once a year at most, before each sailing season. If you decide to use D1 on your boat or timber project, note that it should only be applied to bare wood or wood previously finished with Deks Olje D1. All other finishes must be completely removed before application.